Hey everyone, I wanted to make a video today about Pokemon, more specifically about the depth of Pokemon that is not very well tapped into by the actual Pokemon games. Pokemon games themselves are extremely simple, and the AI is really easy, and so are the enemies, and it's very easy to beat the games, and that's fine. The problem with that is there's a lot of potential that can be tapped into that isn't tapped into nearly enough. So today I wanted to sort of basically play through a battle and explain what I'm doing in the battle, and hopefully people will start to see like there's a lot of little strategy in Pokemon that makes it quite a unique experience to play as a game. I like to describe it as a mixture between a deck building game like Magic the Gathering and a game like poker, where you have to sort of predict and understand your opponent and figure out what they are going to do. So let's just go through my Pokemon team really quick. I use basically a very offensive team. They don't fuck around. They just go right in there and try to finish the job as quickly as possible. And if they don't, they die very fast. So it's all good. So Galvantula's got some lightning and bug moves and ice and grass, and then this Chandelure has a bunch of stuff. It's flamethrower and shadow ball are its main attacks, and then the Brobat is basically designed to annoy the shit out of a Pokemon that's trying to annoy the shit out of me. So it's an anti-shit annoyer. I don't know. The Sharpedo is another just heavy hitter, although it constantly gets faster and faster as it stays out. So it's really nice because eventually, if it manages to get to the point where it stays out very long, it will be faster than anything else in the game, and nothing can outspeed it. And Linda, my Rhyperior, who is a tank. She can take a lot of damage and hit very hard as well. If you see this attack stat here, it's huge. And Old Blue, my Nidoking, my shiny Nidoking. And he again is just an all-around attacker, attack everything. It's a pretty simple team, but they're very fun to play. And I've been playing these guys for a while with minor tweaks here and there. So here is who we're fighting. And oh, let's turn on the sound here just to make it a little more suspenseful. But I'll turn it down a bit. So we can see that he's got basically a rain team, and how I can tell is because he has a Politoed. And what Politoed does is when it first comes out, it creates rain, which makes water type attacks much stronger and fire type attacks a lot weaker, and other little subtle things. So I like to lead with my Galvantula against that Politoed. That Politoed's probably going to come out first, but I've been proven wrong before. I thought this guy was banned, but whatever. So let's go. Yep, see? So Politoed. So I start with my little one, my Galvantula, and he's probably going to get scared and switch because he knows I'm going to use Thunder. And so he's probably going to go to his Ferrothorn. But you know what? Just in case he doesn't, I'm going to use Thunder and just hit as hard as I can. But look at that, he switched to his Ferrothorn. I called that. And luckily we paralyzed him, and what paralysis does, essentially, they always move last. Well, actually they don't always move last. Their speed is cut drastically. So he's going to try and use Leech Seed or Substitute. I'm going to switch to my Chandelure here now. Because my Chandelure can handle this. Yeah, okay, he missed his Leech Seed, so we got really lucky there. Well, not really lucky. Now, in this situation, he's probably going to switch. And switching is really important in Pokemon, and you have to sort of time it right. And you also, as like the opposite player, have to predict it right. So he's going to switch to one of his water Pokemon, because he knows I'm going to try and use Flamethrower. But I'm not going to try and use Flamethrower, I'm going to use Substitute. And what Substitute does is it sort of puts a wall between me and the opponent's Pokemon. So that when he hits me, the wall sort of breaks, and then I am like back in the forefront. So I'm gonna just hit this guy with a Shadow Ball. See what he's trying to do to me here. Oh, and I lowered his special defense, which is awesome. Oh, and he's setting up toxic spikes. So that's really shitty, actually. But I'm gonna ignore him setting this up. Basically, what toxic spikes does is whenever I switch a Pokemon in, it's gonna become poisoned, which sucks. But it's all right because oh, that's weird. I would have expected him to go for another toxic spike. Anyway, we'll just keep shadow balling this guy. And okay, so our Chandelure uh, killed the Tentacle Cruel, so that's cool. So, yeah, so Toxic Spikes will poison all my Pokemon. All my Pokemon are going to be poisoned at this point. So here's the Politoed again. And this Politoed is going to use Scald. It seems like he's pretty into Scald, and Scald is sort of a move that is very common. It's just a water move that has a chance to burn. Now, my Chandelure is faster, so I can opt to go for a Shadow Ball and just kind of dent his Politoed a little, or I can move into something else. But a lot of these Pokemon are going to get pretty hurt by Scald, so I'm just going to Shadow Ball it. And do a little bit of damage at least. Yeah. So, he didn't actually use Scald, he used Surf, which it doesn't really make a difference. I died either way. So he's going to switch into his Ferrothorn again. If I switch to my Galvantula. So, and Linda's not going to be able to take this, my Rhyperior, because she'll die instantly to that Surf. I'm thinking Brobat is sort of the only thing right now that's safe. Well, Her Majesty is also safe. Let's go with Her Majesty. Although, it's probably running a Grass-type move, just in case a Water-type runs against it. So, I'm just going to Crunch it, because that's just sort of a neutral move, and we'll see what happens there. Yeah, he's going to switch Ferrothorn. Fuck you. And I'm going to get hit by everything. So, it didn't actually hit me, but it did a lot of damage. And the reason is it's got an item equipped called Rocky Helmet that will do damage, and then its ability also does damage to me every time I touch it. It's not fun. So it's going to try and Leech Seed me again. What should I do? You know, Ferrothorn, you're going down to this Galvantula. Now, the reason I switched to Galvantula... He missed again with the Leech Seed. Okay, that's all good. The reason I go with Galvantula here is because Bug-type attacks are super effective against Grass, but it's also a Steel-type. But Ferrothorn, if I remember correctly, is not as good with its special defense, and Bug Buzz is a special-type move, so let's try this here. That did only a little bit. So Ferrothorn's setting up spikes, which are kind of like toxic spikes, except they don't poison me. Just every time I move in, like switch a guy in, it's gonna take damage. So he knows I'm gonna use Bug Buzz again, or at least he thinks I am. I think I did enough with Thunder last time that if he switches to something else, I can destroy, just completely kill it. So oh well. So now, I'm actually in a decent position. I think he might have faster Pokemon, but right now I have a Pokemon that's super effective against every single... Galvantula is super effective against all of the rest of his Pokemon here, with his Thunder move. Or her Thunder move. But Dragonite has Multiscale. And the thing with Multiscale is... it's shitty, first of all. It's really good, actually, but it's shitty for people playing against it. What Multiscale does is, if Dragonite's at full health, it will only take a fraction, or it'll only take half damage from any attack it receives. So, that's why that attack did barely anything. But now, Ice Beam, which almost kills that, but not quite, and that's really disappointing. And it's going to use, so this thing, Tornadus, has an ability called Prankster, and what that does is it means any move that isn't an attacking move will always go first. So it can use a whole bunch of weird shit to fuck me up. But I'm just gonna Ice Beam it again, hopefully that's good. I don't know what it was trying to do. It probably thought that might as well do something before it dies. Old Blue is a pretty good Pokemon. I added him recently to my team, and he's really held up. Okay. Old Blue, you're fast. Yeah, Thunderbolt. So, I think we have this now. I think we're okay. Because Old Blue will just take it home. Although that Starmie is worrying me. I think it might be faster. We'll see. No! Old Blue's faster. But doesn't kill it. Fuck. Okay, well, you know... Oh, okay, so the Starmie had Life Orb, which means it's constantly hurting itself when it attacks. So all he has left is a Dragonite. And... I've got 3 Pokemon here, and pretty much anything can take it out. But I'm going to use my Rhyperior, because it's sturdy. I want her to survive. Let's do this. Okay, so Stone Edge would be super effective. A Rock-type attack versus a flying Pokemon will annihilate it. But it only has an accuracy of 80%, so I'm always worried about using this attack, because it might miss. But Linda is really heavy hitting, so if it does hit... Oh, she's also got a lot of defense, but oh my god, that missed. So, so basically Linda's dead here, and that Dragonite is going to get all its health back. But Brobat's going to come in and save the day, because that's what Brobat does. Super Fang, which does half of whatever health they have, it does half of it instantly, which is very nice. And Brobat's not actually very strong, but is very annoying because it's constantly doing this. I don't know why it's using Flamethrower, because, like I said, we're in the rain. It should be using Aqua Tail, because we're in the rain right now, and which means Water-type attacks are much better. Okay, he's just gonna keep roosting. So Roost is like a recovery move, and so he just recovered his health there. So, okay, come on, Brobat, you can do this. Super Fang, and then I know exactly what I'm gonna do. Yeah, there you go, Aqua Tail, you got it now. So this guy's gonna Roost again, I think. If he doesn't, then I'm kind of fucked, but hopefully he does. So I just used Taunt, and he didn't Roost, which sucks. But that means I can do a whole bunch of damage right now to him, and he can't heal. Because what Taunt does is it means you can't use a move that isn't an attack move, which seems shitty, but it's very crucial, because it makes it so that this Dragonite, like right now it makes it so that this Dragonite cannot Roost. And this is actually turning into a stupidly close match. Hold on, I just need to check something here. So my Sharpedo is going to be faster than the Dragonite, because Sharpedos are slightly faster. So I'm going to Crunch and pray that this kills it. Yes! Okay, and that is the game. Holy shit, that was a close game. But I hope that that was somewhat informative. But let me know what you think about this video, and I might do more battle videos. I don't know, there could be something to be gained. Thanks for watching, and I will probably make another one of these sometime soon. Bye.